In this video, we are going to introduce the planes and sections of the body, which are used to describe the location of structures in the body, and it's these planes around which movements of the body occur. The first plane that we're going to look at is the sagittal plane. A plane is an imaginary line taken through the body. So if you take an imaginary line through the midline of the body and divide it into equal left and right sides, then this is described as the mid-sagittal or median plane of the body. We can also take a sagittal plane through any point of the body, it's just called a sagittal plane at that time, and divide it into unequal left and right sides. And we can do the same for any structure or organ within the body and divide it into left and right parts. The next plane we're going to look at is the coronal plane. And this is an imaginary line taken through the body that divides it into anterior and posterior portions. It's named after the location of a crown on the top of the head. So if you imagine wearing a crown horizontally across the top of your head, that's the location of where a coronal plane is taken. The final plane that we're going to look at is the transverse plane. And this is a plane that passes horizontally through the body and divides it into superior and inferior portions. We also call the transverse plane the horizontal or axial plane, and any of those terms is fine. You'll see on the website that there is a handout for you to annotate to remind you of these planes that we've just described in the video. We can actually take slices through these imaginary planes, and we can do that on the cadaveric specimens to view the location of structures in these sections. Sections through the planes of the body also form the basis of cross-sectional imaging, such as magnetic resonance imaging, computer tomography, and also ultrasound. So here in your textbook, you'll see some examples of sections taken through the different planes of the body and the resultant cross-sectional images that are produced in a clinical setting. So here we have a coronal section taken through the skull, and this is how it would appear on the accompanying on an MRI image. Here we have a transverse, axial or horizontal section taken through the skull, and you can see the structures appear quite different when the section is taken through this plane. And here we have a mid-sagittal or median section taken right through the middle of the skull, dividing it into left and right halves. And again, you can see the appearance of structures in the brain changes completely different when we section it in this way.